Hello, folks. Welcome to the Challa Law weekly webinar, where we're going to have a special guest today to talk about processing in Mexico, consular processing in Mexico. And then we have, of course, some of our updates. And so we'll give folks a few minutes to get started. And I want to thank everyone for joining on YouTube Live, and for all of you who have been participating in our weekly webinars, and welcome to those who are coming for the first time. So giving folks just a few seconds, and I hope everyone is doing well. Well, we're having wonderful weather, so I hope wherever it is, you're having great weather as well. So let us get started. The USCIS updates. The USCIS is temporarily waiving the 60-day rule for civil surgeon signatures. This rule is waived until September 30th, 2022. Remember that when you get a medical exam done, you have to submit your adjustment within 60 days. And so there's two issues. One is when you have to submit it by, and the other is how long it stays valid. Well, a couple of months ago, if you've been keeping up with our webinars, you know that the validity of those has been increased once it's been filed, but they never really fixed the issue of the 60-day rule, that it had to be filed within 60 days. So they're now allowing that that individuals with applications with expired medicals, even civil surgeons, sign more than 60 days, as long as a form is valid, and medical examination must be signed and sealed by the civil surgeon, and a reminder that an approved COVID-19 vaccine is required for valid medicals. And DOS is waiving certain in-person and oath requirements for immigrant visa processing due to COVID, and trying to reduce some of the backlog. On Monday, the rule became effective and will remain effective through December 13th. The American Immigration Lawyers Association has pleased to announce that it partly implements one of the recommendations they made to the DOS for the backlogs. Consular services still remain limited because of the staffing, and it's also dependent on local conditions. The rule allows officers to waive personal appearance for repeat visa applicants, repeat immigrant visa applicants who were approved in the same classification and on the same basis as the current application on or after August 2019. Yay! As long as they have no changed circumstances that could affect their eligibility. The consular offices may communicate with the individuals by phone and email and request additional details if needed. And they could still request, if they have a suspicion or there's some issue that's raised, still request an in-person meeting. The USCIS continues to issue RFEs for documents already provided by applicants to the USCIS. Surprise, surprise. Especially problematic for civil documents, such as birth certificates that were provided originally only to receive an RFE for the same document without any information why this birth certificate is being requested again. Is the birth certificate non-compliant, or if the USCIS is unable to locate the birth certificate submitted with the original filing? I don't like to submit originals with the filing. I know that unless they request it later, because I always say we've included a copy so we can provide the original at the time of interview. AILA recommends that the USCIS follow RFE guidelines issued in the policy manual to identify eligibility requirements and explain why the evidence submitted is inefficient. So you know that when they're asking for a birth certificate, you don't know if they don't have the birth certificate or if it was defective, and pointing out why it was defective would be a great way for somebody to be able to correct it. Identifying missing evidence and examples of other evidence that may be submitted. USCIS should not request evidence outside the scope of the adjudication or irrelevant to an identified deficiency. Let's see how this will play out. But as you all are eagerly awaiting. We want to invite our special guest, this friend, Venkat, who will be talking about immigrant visa processing. Are you there, Venkat? Is Venkat part of? Yes, okay, there. Venkat, let me promote you to panelist. There we go. Great. Venkat, I think your mic is off. There we go. Venkat, how are you?
Hey, I'm fine. How do you do?
Good. Are you, Venkat, the person that's going to talk about immigrant visa processing?
No, sorry.
Oh, sorry about that. Okay. Kara, I don't see Venkat on the line. He's supposed to be on there. While we're waiting for Venkat, I wanted to show you guys something. I don't know if you can see them because of my blurry background, but here are some flowers. There we go. I think right there. And more importantly, here is the balloon. And the reason why we've got flowers in a balloon is we are celebrating 20 years of Challa law. I was with another firm before that, so I've been practicing for over 25 years. But Challa law, the birthday was this week, and so we're celebrating 20 years of trying to bring great international resources to enhance our local communities. So we're very excited about that, and want to thank clients, people who are listening today, community members, and of course my incredible team for making me feel excited about coming to work every day. So maybe what we'll do, if Shaker Challa is there, we'll go ahead and, until Venkat comes in, start getting some Q&A. Shaker?
I don't believe Shaker's on. I can read questions to you.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, first one is from RB. Hi, Lakshmi. I downgraded from EB2 to EB3, got an RFE on I-140 premium processing asking for companies' financial reports since 2011, the last 10 years, to show ability to pay the candidate in all these years and all 10 years pay stubs. I have been with the same company and the employer is a reputable, well-known company. Also, there is a question on past experience letters to have verbatim same words as mentioned in the requirement of the position in ETA form 9089. Have you seen USCIS asking for over 10 years of financial statements / pay stubs from the company? If I cannot get new experience letters from past companies whom I worked with over 12 years back, what is a workaround to meet the RFE question?
Okay, so let's start with a couple of things, the basics. When you file a new I-140, you have to prove ability to pay from the time the labor certification was filed until the filing. Really, it's supposed to be until you get your permanent residence, but effectively it's when you file your I-140. So if indeed your perm was filed 10 years ago, then you would have to do that. If it is not, then you would not. And you would cite to the regulatory requirements. Number two, in terms of the experience letter, we truly encourage people, I mean, as long as it doesn't have to be verbatim, but it has to demonstrate you have the experience and special skills that are outlined in the perm. So without seeing it, I wouldn't really be able to know, whether yours is sufficient or not, but that is the rule.
Okay, the next question. I submit my interfile medical I-693 to Texas last week. My case is a September 2014 priority date. Will we get any confirmation from USCIS or any update on my I-45 case status about receipts about medicals?
No, but you can, give it some time, and then you can contact the USCIS, and we've got a webinar where we've got contact information below, where you can, engage with them and ask if they've received your medicals. But I would give it at least 60 days, because look, we're in the holidays, so no one really works on a regular basis. A lot of people are on vacation, so I would do that maybe 60 days after filing, close to the, early January.
Next question. I'm current in both EB2 and EB3 now and have filed downgrade petition in October of 2020. If I interfile back to EB2, since EB3 I-140 is pending, and if the EB2 priority date gets retrogressed by the time my application is picked up and EB3 is current, will the USCIS consider my I-45 application for whichever EB category is current, or do I need to interfile back to EB3?
Wow. There he is, our co-host. Lainey was taking up, asking the questions because, our guest for some reason didn't show, so we started Q&A early. He must have been, I won't use the word detained, but he must have been, otherwise something must have come up. So Shaker, can you read that question again? It's a pretty long one. So I can.
Is it on the chat or?
It's in Q&A.
Q&A. I don't see any open question. Let me see this answered.
Well, it's the second question. She asked it, so.
Yeah, well, there's no open question here.
I can read it again. It
Okay.
might have come in before you logged in, so.
Yeah.
I'm current in both EB2 and EB3 now and have filed downgrade petition in October of 2020. If I interfile back to EB2, since EB3 I-140 is pending, and if the EB2 priority date gets retrogressed by the time my application is picked up and EB3 is current, will the USCIS consider my I-485 application for whichever EB category date is current, or do I need to interfile back to EB3?
Right. So first of all, when you filed a downgrade, you can file a downgrade either by filing an amended petition or filing a new petition. If you filed a new petition, that means you have both an EB2 and an EB3 approved I-140. Well, yeah, you have two I-140. So I would just interfile. That way you have both EB2 and EB3. And the USCIS will adjudicate whichever is current first.
Okay. Let's see. Is this on chat?
There's some noise that's, I think, okay, now it's gone.
Okay, there's a question from the chat. If I have a written birth certificate, never registered with the government, and I obtained a NABC and 2 affidavits from my parents, is that sufficient for the I-485 filing?
NABC, is that non-availability?
No, I think it's no objection certificate.
A non-availability certificate.
Non-availability, okay.
Right. Yes. Yes. So
Non-availability of birth certificate.
right. The Foreign Affairs Manual says, well, actually you do, but it was never registered. But yes, you can submit an unavailability certificate and 2 affidavits in lieu of a birth certificate.
All right, well, Venkat, thanks for joining, no problem. I'm sure there's some technology issues and, challenges around the country, around the world. So let me take this question and then you can join. I think you're already on. You can connect and I'll just take this question and then while I'm doing it, you can connect. There you are. All right. Okay, this question, anonymous attendee. Our EB2 to EB3 downgrade is pending with the USCIS. Our EAD AP got approved. Can my kid, 15 years now, work after he turns 16 years on his next summer on his EAD without affecting his pending I-485 or H-4 status?
Say that last part again.
Will his kid, can he, I think it's a he, can work next summer on his EAD without affecting his pending I-485 or H-4 status?
Yes, because he's a derivative, so there's no restrictions for derivatives. The only restrictions are for the primary applicant and working on an EAD for an employer other than the H-1B employer.
I don't know if it's the same person. It says my priority date is April 2017 in EB2. I have a child, 18 years old. No, this is different. Is it advisable to switch job now?
Is his I-140 approved and his I-485 pending for 180 days?
I don't think it's.
Are you asking about an AC portability question? Or is it because you're concerned about your son's age and aging out? If you want, you can send us a detailed email at info@challalaw.com.
Yeah, he says timing of job switch, but just to interject, ladies and gentlemen, you hold on to your questions while our special guest, Venkat Bola, is going to be on talking about immigration, Mexico, and all those issues. And then we'll take the questions. So, Venkat, are you there? You can
yes, I'm
show
here.
up and say hello, and then I'll go back in the background and I'll come back later.
Sure.
Thank you.
Also, can you please allow me to do the screen share? Okay, yes, I'm able to do the screen share. Okay, hi, thanks everyone. Thanks Challa Group for allowing me to do this presentation. So I'm here to just present some information about what is the current situation about the US visa stamping in Mexico right now.
Before you get started, Venkat, I just wanted to ask, what are you seeing in terms of appointment availability?
Right now, if someone is starting the process right now, the first available non-emergency appointments are next year, June or July. And let's say if someone is right now, only emergency appointments are going on, that is mostly given to a lot of students, doctors, researchers, scientists, or anyone who is working for frontline. Or let's say a couple of weeks back, we had some client who works for AT&T as well as Spectrum Communications. So he was able to draft the reason in such a way that the network was used as part of the hospitals and all that stuff, like in an indirect way, and he was able to try to get the emergency appointment. So yeah, it worked for them. So currently, most emergency appointments are going on. We are hoping that non-emergency might start by this Jan or February, but due to this new variants and all that, consulates tries to push the dates a little bit far. So the first available dates are next year, June or July, as of now.
Okay, I'll let you go ahead and present, and if I have any questions, I'll ask after your presentation.
Sure. So if consulates decide to start something soon, yes, prior dates might open up, and definitely someone can attend for their interview in Mexico. All right, yeah, thank you. So this is our website, usvisastampinginmexico.com, and we have been providing these services from past 4 years. So by this December, we have completed 4 years, and we help close to 12,000 plus clients. The way how we help is initially, if someone is looking for any information or guidance, yes, we do provide that. Also, previously until 2019, we are under the impression that Mexico allows only same visa category renewal. So we provided the same information, but from 2020 onwards, due to this pandemic or something, Mexico also started allowing the change of visa category, either F1 to O1 or F1 to H1 or H4 to F1, different visa categories. And yeah, a lot of people got their visa stamped from March 2020 onwards based on the emergency appointments. So yeah, definitely Mexico is allowing this change of visa category as well as the same visa renewals from long time onwards. Like I said, currently the non-emergency appointments are next year. So let's say if things become better, yes, definitely consulates might prepone your appointment dates and you'll be able to reschedule your appointment dates. I think in India, we heard some Dropbox appointments were available. That's what I heard from some of my clients. And I think non-emergency hasn't really opened up much. So that's the situation in India. So the reason why we started providing these services is usually 221G rates are pretty low in Mexico. Also, the rejections are very low. So that helped. I mean, a lot of people have been staying in US based on these visas, right? Let's say H1B or different visa categories. So we get settled down here based on our jobs, or due to some immigration issues, we're unable to travel out of the country, or due to this COVID and all that. So that really puts us in a situation where if you have some sort of emergency for your family, or if you really need to go to the home country on some sort of other things that you really need to take care. So the lack of visa stamping puts us on a spot in such a way that we might not be able to make the trip where you really need to be there in your home country, right? So yeah, my own cousin, she didn't go to India from almost like 12 to 13 years, and yeah, she faced a lot of issues and all that. So uh, I've been to stamping, and then that really helped me, and later on we started providing this information about the consulates and all that stuff. And now, yeah, so far we have helped a lot of clients for this stamping in Mexico. Um, yeah, a lot of people come here due to these reasons. Either they don't have much time to go to the home country to finish the stamping, or the possibility of 221G at home country that might result in their job loss, or let's say if their employer don't allow them to work remotely for 2 to 3 months in case if they get 221G. Those are the different situations why people come to Mexico, because the average time frame to clear any 221G is usually between 3 to 5 business days. The max that I have seen is 40 days for one of our client. Um, and denials are pretty rare. I can say, like, maybe I can count on my fingers, maybe just 7 to 8 out of those 12,000 members. So you can really calculate what is the success of visa approvals versus the denials. And coming to the emergency appointments, yes, like I said, if anyone is working for the front line, or a researcher or scientist, or anything that's helping with the COVID or the new variant and all that, yes, you can definitely request for these emergency appointments. And we'll be able to guide you with all those details about the step-by-step process about how to fill the DS-160, how to register your profile, how to make the visa fee payment in Mexico, and how to book the non-emergency appointments, and how to request the emergency appointments. So I'm just sharing my screen, which includes our website. So where we have different locations, interior locations and the border consulate locations, also different visa category, E3, F1, F2, L1, H4. Also, recently we had a lot of clients who are moving from H4 to J1, not H4 to F1. The reason is USCIS is taking a lot of time to process the change of status from H4 to F1. So a lot of clients, what they had is they just had their I-20 at their hand and financial documents and service fee. And instead of waiting almost like 6 to 18 months just for USCIS to process their H4 to F1, a lot of people came to Mexico and got their F1 visa stamped through emergency appointment. So that's the reason I just created this particular page, H4 to, change of status, wait and worth it. So this is a page that includes all those details. Also, this page includes change of status F1 to H1B. Like I said, a lot of people used to think that Mexico doesn't allow. Then I have gathered all the recent visa interview questions and all that from my clients and included in this particular website. So that can help you to understand whether change of visa category is possible or not. And also you can take a look at the recent visa interview questions and all that stuff in this particular link. We can help from end-to-end process, accommodation, transportation, and all that. So that way you'll be able to, you don't need to worry about the safety aspects and all that in Mexico and all that. Yeah, so that's a brief information that I just want to provide. And I can take any questions in case if you all have any.
Yeah, I wanted to know, are you seeing people from other countries, invest in, are you seeing other people from other countries processing their visa in Mexico, like from India or other places?
Yeah, I mean, let's say, if someone is flying from USA, either they can go to the border locations or interior locations. To come to these border locations, you don't really need any Mexican visa or no other visas. But to go to interior locations, you must need some sort of either Canadian visitor visa, Japan, Schengen, or European. If not, you must need Mexican visa to fly to these interior locations. So that is the option to fly from USA to Mexico. So let's say if someone is there in home country, let's say India or some other country, right? So depending upon their country of origin, they must need some sort of Mexican visa or some other visas that I told you right now in order to fly to these interior locations. Mexico City is one of the major locations where someone can be able to fly from their home country to Mexico City, and then from Mexico City to any other locations, they can take a local flight to come based on wherever they get these emergency appointments as of now. So last year, I think 2020, we had a lot of clients who flew from India to get these emergency appointments and all that. But due to this pandemic, from I think 2021 onwards, really, they need to get their Mexican visa first in order to fly to Mexico. In that case, what stopped them is they were not able to get the Mexican visa from a Mexican embassy in India, so they couldn't really try the emergency appointments in Mexico. Also in 2020, mostly if someone said that, hey, I'm working for the economy betterment, especially during the pandemic, even they were able to get these emergency appointments. But from January and February of 2021 onwards, Mexico started giving only emergency appointments only to these frontline workers and all these scientists and all that. So that's the reason we couldn't see much of the people flying from home country to Mexico to attend emergency. But a lot of people are flying from USA to Mexico to attend emergency appointments. That includes a lot of people from India, Bangladesh, Nigeria, also Russia, different countries actually.
Got it. And how hard is it to get a visa to Mexico?
So visa to Mexico, it depends upon the local Mexican embassy. Every state has these Mexican embassies. Few Mexican embassies, they must need an appointment for you to allow you into the consulate to get the Mexican visa. It might to get an appointment might vary from 1 week to 1 month. Some Mexican embassies, they do allow the walk-in. Mostly once you get the appointment, you'll get the same day passport with your Mexican visa stamp. So it should be pretty easy as long as you get the appointment.
Got it. So, and then your vast majority of the people that you're seeing that are processing are students or J1s.
Also, recently we had few H1B folks as well, let's say, and also H4. Few H4 folks, what they tried to do is they said like, hey, I'm working for this particular company, and if I don't get my EAD extended or my I-94 extended, it might result in my job loss or financial loss and all that. So some people tried that way and they were able to get these emergency appointments.
Oh, that's great. That's really good.
Yeah, but majority of the folks who are trying for these emergency appointments is, like I said, healthcare or someone who is indirectly working for healthcare, let's say someone is working in IT, let's say IT in CVS or Walgreens or any other pharmacy related, or let's say if someone is working for any medical device companies for IT software in medical device companies, yes, even they were able to get these emergency appointments right now.
So would it be that, for what about folks that are working, in infrastructure and other areas that, like you alluded, that indirectly impact? Does it have to be just with the medical, or is it expanded to other areas?
I mean, it depends upon the consulate and the consulate managers who are reviewing these requests. Let's say whatever that related to the infrastructure that we want to write indirectly, we can try it in either Tijuana or Nuevo Laredo. These two locations have been a little bit better in terms of giving emergency appointments for anything that we want to write indirectly, let's say infrastructure and all these.
Got it. Got it. So you kind of help folks with trying to pick out which consulate as well, right?
Yes, that is right. See, I mean, we gather a lot of information from different consulates. We usually ask our clients about what are their visa interview questions and what is the emergency reason that they submitted, and we'll ask what is their profile, and based on that we'll inform them, hey, this is, you can follow this particular sample that okay, if you take a look at this particular link, emergency reasons. So we have listed, we usually gather all the information from our clients, and we just write down, list down all those emergency appointment request samples here. That way they'll be able to, if someone is a physician or doctor, they can just follow this particular template based on how others were able to get the emergency appointments. So that way we'll be able to provide them the information, the updated, up-to-date information about which consulate is better for which visa category. F1, I would definitely say Nuevo Laredo, Monterrey, Tijuana, these are better right now to get the emergency. So Monterrey, we had a lot of clients. Almost, I think this month we had close to 40 to 50 clients who are attending for their H4 to F1 or F1 visa category renewal and all that. So for the doctors, mostly, I would say Monterrey and Nuevo Laredo and Tijuana has been good. Researchers and scientists, yes, Tijuana, Nuevo Laredo has been good. So that way, based on each J1, yes, Tijuana, Laredo, and Monterrey, these three are good. So based on each and different visa category, we can suggest what is the good location for them to apply for emergency appointment.
Okay, great. So when somebody comes to you and says, hey, I'd like some assistance with, some visa processing in Mexico, they tell you what category they're in, any special circumstances, do you have a preliminary consultation with them? How does that work?
Initially, let's say, one will be able to, usually I list down all the information in our website. And once they contact us, they usually just click this particular WhatsApp link and they contact us and they provide us their details about what's the visa category and what's the situation and all that. So we gathered that information, that initial input based on the WhatsApp, and then based on whether they fall under that specific category or not, we'll provide the initial information. Hey, this is what the information is. And if you fall under this category, let us know and we'll be able to guide you with further details. Let's say if someone wants to stick with the non-emergency appointments, which are available next year, yes, they can start the process and we can get them started with the process.
Got it, got it.
Also, once they contact us, we'll create an individual groups. So this way you can, so let's say TP. So we usually create each an individual group for our clients, and then we'll be able to guide them individually. So we have close to, I don't know, maybe 3,000, 4,000 groups, which includes all those details. So these are clients who recently attended for visa interview, and we usually ask them to share their information about what is the visa interview questions, what is the previous visa category, what is the current visa category that they're attending, what are the appointment dates. And that way, whoever is planning to attend next time, they'll be able to relate to their particular profile, their particular visa category, and they can take a look at what are the visa interview questions and all that.
Got it, got it. So shall we open it up for questioning, Shaker?
Yeah. the Q&A box. Gopal Arthanari is asking, I have I-140 approved on EB2 and EB3, and my PD October 2011 is current on final action. My 485 was filed using EB3 I-140, and I see no progress on my 485. I've got calls scheduled with USCIS Tier 2 officer. I'm planning to ask the officer to make a note that I have a EB2 I-142. Please suggest what else I could ask the officer to do in order to get GC sued.
Yeah, I think you're doing all the right things and just being persistent in, contacting them and letting them know what you have. And we've got links to show there's not just one way, there are many ways to contact them. And a lot of people say, well, I don't want them to get angry with me, but I can tell you this, they don't get angry. I think, nudging them in a very polite way is a good way to at least make everyone work towards trying to get this backlog issue resolved. I know that as of August this year, they've started processing their 7,000 per month, and which is a lot. I think it's per month. Kara will correct me if I'm incorrect about the processing, but they've increased it tremendously. So I think we will see things move very shortly.
All right. Next question from an anonymous attendee. Do we need to wait for 6 months with the current employer after approval of downgraded EB3 I-140 so that it remains valid even after I change job in same or similar position?
That is right. So you've got to have an approved I-140, and the 485 has got to be pending for 180 days. And then you can port to same or similar employment.
Okay. Next question. I think probably relates to Venkat. How safe is it to visit Mexico? We always hear about drug cartels and organized crimes there. It seems like quite risky to visit even border areas of Mexico.
Yeah, thank you. That's a very good question. This is one of the frequently asked questions because, if usually there are good sides and bad sides of every country, right? So let's say for Mexico, yeah, we get to hear about all the bad things in the media and all that, but don't really get to hear the good side of Mexico. So we are here to show the good part of Mexico through our services. You can take a look at the reviews here. I mean, this is from a lady who came alone for the visa interview. Nahin, she came for F1 stamping. Also Pavani, she came for her F1 stamping in Monterrey and all that. If you're going on your own, so I mean, you take a local cab or something and you don't know how, I mean, the background or anything of that particular person who is providing you the transportation. But coming to taking our services, we have our drivers who have been helping all of our clients from almost 4 years. So they know which areas are safe for you to take. So they don't take you to any unsafe areas. So let's say if you need to go out for the appointments, they know where to take, as well as they'll be there to pick you up from the airport. The transportation team will be there to help you with everything that you need from the moment that you land in Mexico until you leave Mexico. Mostly it's like 3 to 4 days stay over there in Mexico. So you really don't need to worry much about the safety aspect unless you're planning to go on your own and you're trying to venture into unknown areas. But if you're coming through our services, I definitely will just take you through only the safe areas where you'll feel safe and all that. So yeah. So that's what I can say, that if you go with anyone local who knows about the area as well, then you don't really need to worry about the safety aspect.
All right. This next question is very timely. Sanat Pandya. Hello, Mr. Sanat. He's the attorney from Ahmedabad. I was just about to reach you because you said that you're going to tell me when you will want to visit the Greensboro project next week. And I see on the attendees, the gentleman, the project owner, director, Daniel Robinson is there. And his question, Sanat Pandya, Daniel and Lakshmi says, I'm looking for EB5 as I have already discussed with Mr. Challa about direct investment process and timeline. Well, Sanat, I gave you all the information and the most important aspect of is now to visit the site since you're here in Richmond. I hope you're back from Pennsylvania. If you're in Richmond, let me know. I'll take you down 3 hours from here. But Lakshmi or Daniel wants to say anything, I'll let them, take a shot at.
Well, I would just say, so we don't take up too much time here. We would be happy to answer any questions you have via email. If you want to email us, either you've got Shaker's contact information or email us at info@challalaw.com. We can send you some immigration resources on EB5 filings.
All right. Sanat, give me a call after this webinar is over. I'll call you and we can talk and coordinate and pull in Daniel at a time that is convenient to him. But thank you, Daniel, for standing by. Appreciate it. Next question is from YouTube. Sweet Seller, my favorite sweet seller is back. I wonder what kind of business that is. Can we file second AOS on EB2 if EB3 downgrade I-140 is pending?
Yes, but why would you want to, if you're with the same, why wouldn't you want to interfile? If your EB2 and EB3 are associated with the same perm, then you can interfile. Because remember, they have already processed your 485, at least preliminarily. So if you file an EB2, and you can, with a new adjustment, that would have to, that's getting back at the beginning of the line. So you've already progressed a little bit. Why wouldn't you want to keep your place and do an interfiling?
The Sweet Seller is continuing, says, with EB2 slowness, would there be any possibility of July 2013 current DOF being reached this year?
It's hard to predict. We'll know more, I think, in early part of January. We've seen even the Department of State is not able to predict appropriately how the movement's going to be. Because, like, for example, the new variant. In certain countries, that's going to slow down processing. So that's an uncertainty. So, the Department of State takes into consideration immigrant processing from abroad. They take into consideration how fast the USCIS is processing. So all these factors go into the movement of the Department of State visa bulletin. So there's so many, unknowns that it would be hard to make an appropriate prediction.
Yeah. Next question is from the Q&A. Abir Singhal. Hello, Abir. Hi, Lakshmi. What does it mean if you get a combination EAD with advanced parole before the I-140 or I-485 is approved? Is it correct to assume it is of no use till the I-140 is approved, and even after the I-140 is approved, can the 485 be rejected, or it is just paperwork at that point?
No, that's a very good question. So remember, if you file an I-140 and you file a 485 at the same time, remember how I said that they're on connected paths, but separate paths. So they do preliminarily review your I-485. And that's why you get that combination EAD for employment and advanced parole for travel. And so if the I-140 has, would ever be denied, then of course, the underlying adjustment would be denied, which is why I always encourage people to have a safety net. But, for the most part, once your I-140 is approved, unless there is an issue with a criminal, something in your criminal background, some other issues that would make you inadmissible, you should not have any problem with adjusting.
All right. Next question from YouTube. Hi, Lakshmi and Shekhar Garu. The interfile is based on filing chart date or filing or final chart date?
You can interfile at any time. Interfiling is not dependent on the visa bulletin. You're just merely telling the USCIS, hey guys, I have two, EB2 and EB3, so please pick one.
Well, that's about all I see in the chat as well as in the Q&A box, unless I'm missing something, but let me just check for a minute. There was a question about, rather a request to say, looking for help on L1A. So, it looks like we have been receiving a lot of questions and emails on L1A. I've seen in the last couple of days. So as one of our team members said, Laney, send us an email to info@challalaw.com, because it's a pretty, significant, discussion as to what L1A, how to do it and all that stuff. So we'll send you all the resources, we can talk to you and, be glad to. And I think we may have done a webinar earlier, so the team can put up a link if we have done a webinar earlier on L1A. But other than that, just send us an email. Be glad to.
Absolutely.
info@challalaw.com.
And I want to say that this is going to be our last webinar in 2021. We'll resume again January 6, 2022. I want to thank all of you for attending. And like I said, it's been a long but joyous 20 years. I love what I do. So does my team. So it is great to be surrounded by a lot of people who, where immigration is not just a job or a document, but they see the purpose in ensuring that we, like I said, get great international resources to enhance our local communities. Yes, Shaker.
Yeah, I like to have the floor for a minute and, the access to the screen sharing. I don't know if I can still share the screen. Share screen, I think it's, looks like it is there.
I think it's your mouse pad that's making the weird noise. I think that's what it is, but I will, which one are you?
I think I have access to the screen share.
Yeah, because you're a co-host.
So I just want to start off by first acknowledging the comment made by Abhi Singhal. Abhi, at the end of his question, said, by the way, congratulations to Challa Law offices on 20 years. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, it's been 20 years since Ms. Lakshmi Challa one day woke up right after 9/11 and said, I want to start my own business. I said, take a week, and we'll talk it over. She woke up next morning and said, I want to do it. I said, one more day. I want to do it. I said, okay, that's it. Started, registered the URL, and the process went on. So it's been 20 years. So congratulations to Lakshmi Challa. In English, it's difficult to, I don't know, my English knowledge, I can't, how do you respectfully say something to somebody in English? In Telugu, you say, Miru, Telugu valandaru akkada. Hindi mein aap kehte hain aap. So, I don't know how to say that in English. Your honor, maybe because she's a lawyer, maybe go as a judge later on, say, your honor, it's a great privilege to have worked with you for the last 20 years. I've known you for the last 37 years. So you've done an excellent job. So here, I want to share a small screen here, not too much, but I just put it just now while I was in the middle of doing some stuff. So can you see the screen, Lakshmi and everybody else?
Yeah.
And the team? So here's a card I bought. I haven't signed it. I said yesterday, it's this week, a lot of things happened 20 years ago. So this is the beginning. And let's see, the thing doesn't work automatically. There. So I didn't have time to figure out how to make it larger and all that stuff. It says, when someone puts so much into reaching a goal, good things are bound to happen. So happy and proud of you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And there it is. The cheers were supposed to come, but with the design idea I chose from PowerPoint, the cheers got lost, but there are sprinkles and 20. So
we will imagine them.
आपने जबरदस्त काम किया, बहुत खुशी हुई, बहुत I'm very proud of you. हिंदी काफी दिन हो गया बोल के, మీరు చాలా బాగా మీ కంపెనీని రన్ చేశారు. చాలా సంతోషం. You've done excellent, very well, you and your team. Obviously, there is always a team behind, right?
Absolutely.
All
Absolutely.
team members in the last 20 years who have come in and gone, who have exited Challa Law Offices building, right on Cox Road and Sadler Place. We all thank you for all your hard work and your contribution, all the team members, attorneys, paralegals, legal assistants, legal interns, University of Richmond graduates. So many Richmond graduate law schools worked with us. So congratulations and thank you to everybody. And Lakshmi Challa, thank you very much for making a difference in the community also.
Well, thank you, Shaker. You were right. My team is, without my teams over the past 20 years, I wouldn't have been able to achieve very much. I've been very blessed to have some really phenomenal resources then and now, especially now. And part of those resources is, Challa Law was our baby from the beginning, whether it was trying to figure out how to work from home at first. And I think that lasted for not even a week. And then it got so busy that we had to go to an incubator, and that lasted for, I think, maybe 6 months. And then it got so busy that we moved into a new building up the road, and then eventually our home now here on Sadler Place.
Yeah, I want to share two quick, issues, not issues, tidbits or whatever. My English is not that great. But first thing, I'd like to thank my ex-colleague. I was a professor at Virginia State University long back in my previous life. And my colleague, Dr. Emmanuel Omojokum from Nigeria, he was a networking expert. I was not very expert in IT or networking. IT, okay, not networking. So I had to request him to come and set up the first IT networking facility for Challa Law offices right here in Innsbruck. It's called Business Center International, run by Ali Abbasi. And Lakshmi, I just want to tell you, he just sent an email today and said, hey, congratulations, thank you. I'm glad to be part of your journey.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
Absolutely.
He was a very nice man.
Yep, that's all from me. And please go ahead and,
Yes, so I was going to say that this has been our journey. It's been great. It's been sometimes challenging, but what has been constant throughout it is our passion and our purpose in serving the community as immigration resources. And we hope to continue that. And I want to thank again all my clients, all the community resources. And again, I can't thank my team enough. So thank you all. We'll see you in 2022, talk about some New Year's resolutions, and I hope everyone has a safe and happy holiday.
Well, if just last thing, if we didn't pick up some of your questions that came while we were, finishing up, please do send the email to us. And thank you everybody for wishing us on the anniversary. But your questions, please do send it. Apologize, while the questions came, while we were, summarizing today's event.
Yeah, and for those of you who still want to be in touch with us during the holidays, social media. We may not be having the webinars, but we will be, still communicating via social media with any changes. Please join us on Facebook. Sign up for our YouTube videos. We'll be posting during the holidays. So the only way you'll know if there's a new YouTube video is if you subscribe. We'll also be connecting with our Telegram groups. So if there's any latest and greatest post, you will see it there. So please sign up for these mechanisms so we can still talk to you and get you the latest immigration information that comes out. And if you like the content, please share with your friends. Have a great, safe holiday. We'll see you in 2021. Thanks, Lainey. Thanks, Kara, and everybody else on our team for making all this possible.
Congratulations and thank you, Lakshmi Challa Group, for everything that you guys do.
No, Thank you so much, Venkat, for being on our special 20th anniversary show today. And you provide a phenomenal service. And so we're always telling folks about your services anytime they inquire about visa processing.
Thank you.
Sorry,
It's a great-
we didn't realize you were still on, because the window didn't show that you were on, but apologize.
And then Peter Larson, thank you so much from Cobb Technologies. You've been a big part of our journey as well. Always there to answer any questions we have, make sure we're operational in our copying and scanning, which is a critical part of our organization. So thank you for being there for us.
I just want to acknowledge Mariangela, Ritesh Kumar, Abir, and Daryl. Please send an email, for these questions, and the team will respond, as soon as possible, for sure.
All right, and thank you, Chandrasekhar. Like I said, this is our baby. So celebrations to us all for the 20 years, and the India office, the North Carolina office, and the technology and the marketing and the operations. I would not have been able to do all of that and without, working together. Somebody asked me, how do you and your husband work together? I said, our offices are really far apart, and we've got totally two different areas that we manage. So that's the secret.
Thank you for the opportunity. I enjoy it. I continue to enjoy it. I will continue to enjoy it.
All right.
That's all I can say.
Thank you all again. Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody. Happy New Year.
And thanks for the PowerPoint.